everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Maze and this is Maze Core. So today I thought I would do something a little bit more fun and different than my normal content, which is a story time on how I'm accident prone. So if you guys don't know me personally, you probably don't know that I'm a huge klutz. There is this kind of stereotype about left-handed people, which I'm left-handed, fun fact, that we are very clumsy. And for me, that stereotype happens to be true. So, here's the story. I have had multiple ankle injuries. Not one, not two, but 3 ankle injuries. And the first ankle injury is actually a really funny story. And the short version of it is a horse fell on me. Yeah. When I was in 6th grade, actually, fun fact about me, I grew up on a farm, for those guys who don't know. I had horses, ducks, chickens, a pig at one point, a couple points, a goat at one point. It was an evil goat, but that's another story time. And I had this horse named Mara, and we were riding kind of like by, I don't know if it's like a gutter or what it is, but it was like on the side of the road where it's kind of like got that, like all the water drains into it. Anyways, we were riding down that. She was a little clumsy. She tripped and she fell on her side and landed on me, on my leg really. So what happened was the stirrup, which is where you put your feet when you're riding in the saddle, it crushed my ankle and I ended up getting a fracture. So I was in a cast for 2 months. I had to be on crutches for a little bit and it was not fun. I actually went to horse camp in a cast, which was very interesting. I even decided to take the risk of having the top bunk of the bed, which was a bad idea. I did fall off of it in the middle of the night. So, yeah. But then I had my second injury. So the first injury was in 6th grade, and then my second injury was 2 years later in 8th grade. Now the thing was this injury happened on my growth plate and in prime time where I was growing. So it didn't heal properly. We don't really know why, but it didn't, because when I was in 8th grade, I was playing volleyball, and I played for 6 years. I was on a national team. I traveled competitively, so that was fun. But I was playing volleyball, I was in practice, and I was serving a ball, and I was kind of tired and lazy, so I actually rolled my ankle while serving. I don't really understand that because it wasn't a jump serve. It was just a normal, regular standing serve, overhand. So I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but it did. And I remember I kept playing. I kept doing the drill that we were doing. And so when we moved on to the next drill, I was watching everybody. So the second drill was people were standing on these boxes, and I was a hitter. I played middle and right side. And so they were standing on these giant boxes that were probably a foot or 2 foot up, and then the coach was throwing a ball in the air, and you had to jump on top of the box and hit the ball. And I was just watching all my teammates do this, and I was like, yeah, no. No. So from one drill I had no problem doing with a broken ankle. This one I was like, no. So I stopped playing. I went up to my coach and I was like, hey, I can't do this drill. There's something wrong with my ankle. And they're like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. And then later, towards the end of practice, I went to get back up and I really struggled. And my teammates, who didn't even really like me, they were trying to help me walk to my car. And my coach looks over and he's like, she has to learn how to walk on her own. And I was like, okay. So then I came back the next practice with a cast on, and he was like, oh, thought she was faking it. Guess I was wrong. So that happened. And then the third ankle injury, which was honestly the most devastating injury I had, was actually on the opposite foot. So my first 2 injuries, they happened in the exact same spot. They happened on the same ankle, like literally the exact same spot. That's why it didn't heal properly, because normally when you have an injury, it grows back stronger. In my case, that didn't seem to be the situation. The exact same thing just happened again. Well, my third ankle injury was on my other ankle, and it wasn't broken. It was actually a lot more painful. So mind you, again, I had no problem. I remained doing the drill. I kept playing when I broke my ankle. And then when I was a sophomore in high school, actually I was going into my sophomore year, I was trying out for varsity. I was at Tampa University for a volleyball camp with my team, and I went for a ball the same time that this new freshman was going for a ball. Stepped on her foot and my ankle rolled, and I was on the floor screaming. It hurt so bad. It was really painful. So what actually happened is I ended up dislocating my tendon, which is awful. I ended up going to the Tampa University. They had trainers, or I don't know, they're not nurses or anything, but they're professionals to help with like athletic injuries and whatnot. And they're like, I think you have it sprained and all this stuff. And they're like, you'll probably be fine within 2 weeks. And I was like, great, then I'll be able to do tryouts and everything. And then I went to the doctors when I got back, and they're like, oh, you broke it. So I didn't actually break it. What happened was, it was kind of like there's this bone that sticks out on your ankle, and behind it is your tendon. There's only 2 tendons in your body that you can dislocate, and it's really hard to do so. So it just proves that I'm accident prone, because I did something that apparently is incredibly hard to do for an injury. And so over that bone, it moved on top of it. So when you took the x-ray, it looked like it was cracked, but it was really the tendon that you were seeing and not a crack. So they were like, oh, you broke it. It's going to be about 2 months. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I went to an athletic orthopedic, I think it's what it's called, the professional ankle doctor, I guess. And they were like, no, you dislocated your tendon. So it ended up being from a 2-week thing to a 2-month thing to a 3-month thing. And it was so painful. Like, honestly, being in a cast with a broken ankle was fine. Being in a cast with a dislocated tendon the entire time was just so painful and not fun. I don't recommend it. But yeah, so these are just kind of some stories about how your girl is accident prone. These are just the events that have happened of me hurting my ankle. There's been other events outside of that. But thank you guys for listening to the video. I hope you guys found it interesting or maybe weird, or you're like, dang, you must be clumsy girl. So let me know in the comment sections, have you guys had any ankle injuries? And if so, like, what happened? What's your story? I'm curious to know about you guys. Anyways, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.